Why narcissists hate you but can't let you go. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were constantly on a seesaw, caught between being adored one moment and despised the next? It's as if you're indispensable to them, yet, at the same time, you feel like they can't stand the sight of you. You might feel exhausted, confused, and emotionally drained, questioning your worth and sanity, but still, you find it incredibly difficult to walk away. Sound familiar? If you recognize these feelings, you might be dealing with a narcissist. In this article, we'll unravel the twisted dynamics of why narcissists seem to both hate you and yet, paradoxically, can't bring themselves to let you go. If you stick around until the end, you'll understand the psychological mechanisms behind their behavior, how they manipulate their victims, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself. Let's explore the labyrinthine mind of a narcissist and break down exactly why they maintain this bizarre emotional tug of war. Let's dive in. If this were a video, this is the point where I'd kindly ask you to subscribe, give the video a like, and share it with those who might benefit from learning about this complex topic. Since this is an article, I'd encourage you to keep reading, bookmark this page, and share it with anyone who might find themselves entangled with a narcissist. Narcissists are profoundly fascinating, but they are also incredibly destructive. To understand why they both hate you and can't let you go, we need to unpack their psychological framework. Narcissistic personality disorder is a deeply rooted mental condition characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, an insatiable need for admiration, and a shocking lack of empathy for others. At their core, narcissists have fragile egos, and their self-esteem is precariously balanced on a knife's edge. While they may come across as overly confident or even superior, their internal reality is much more fragile than it seems. A narcissist thrives on validation. They crave constant admiration, and they require others to feed their inflated sense of self-worth. When they don't get this validation, their ego takes a hit, and they experience what's called a narcissistic injury. This injury is often what triggers their cycle of hatred toward the people closest to them. Here's where things get complicated. You, the person they're fixated on, represent both the source of their validation and, simultaneously, a threat to their fragile self-esteem. It's a push-pull dynamic that keeps you hooked and, frustratingly, keeps them from ever truly letting you go. When a narcissist first enters your life, you might feel as if you've met the most charming, captivating person in the world. Narcissists are master manipulators, and they know exactly how to make you feel special. This phase, often called love bombing, is filled with grand gestures, intense attention, and constant flattery. You might find yourself swept off your feet, believing that you've finally found someone who sees you in a way no one else has before. However, this love bombing phase is not genuine. It's a tactic narcissists use to draw you in, to make you dependent on their approval and affection. But the love bombing doesn't last forever. Sooner or later, you'll start to see the cracks in the narcissist's facade. Perhaps you inadvertently challenge them, or you fail to live up to their impossible standards. Maybe you stop giving them the adoration they expect. And that's when the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, the person who once adored you seems to despise you. They criticize, belittle, and demean you, often over trivial things. It feels like walking on eggshells. You never know when you'll be the target of their anger or resentment. But even though they treat you with such contempt, they won't let you leave. They may even pull you back in with more love bombing, confusing you even further. This is where many victims of narcissists get stuck. The cycle of love bombing, devaluation, and intermittent affection creates a powerful emotional bond known as trauma bonding. You feel simultaneously unworthy and yet completely dependent on the narcissist's approval. And this is exactly where they want you. By alternating between affection and disdain, the narcissist keeps you in a state of emotional turmoil, constantly seeking their approval, always questioning your worth. So why do narcissists hate you but can't let you go? It boils down to their overwhelming need for control and validation, coupled with their deep-seated insecurities. When you don't fulfill their every emotional need, when you aren't the perfect source of admiration they expect, you become a threat. Narcissists can't handle anything that makes them feel inferior or challenged, and so they lash out. They hate you for making them feel vulnerable, for not feeding their ego in the way they expect. But at the same time, they can't let you go because they need you to validate their fragile sense of self-worth. It's a paradox that leaves you feeling trapped. Narcissists are terrified of being alone, yet they cannot form healthy, genuine connections with others. Their relationships are transactional. They see you as an extension of themselves, a tool to be used to prop up their self-image. When you don't serve this purpose perfectly, they react with anger and resentment. Yet, they can't afford to lose you because, without your validation, they are forced to confront the terrifying emptiness within themselves. This toxic dynamic often leaves victims feeling like they're stuck in a never-ending cycle of emotional manipulation. Narcissists will push you away with their cruelty and hatred, but as soon as you try to leave, they'll pull you back in with promises of change, affection, or even apologies. These apologies, however, are rarely sincere. Narcissists are expert manipulators, and they know exactly how to keep you hooked. They might promise to change, tell you that they can't live without you, or blame their bad behavior on external factors. But once you're drawn back in, the cycle begins all over again. The reason narcissists can't let go is that they are emotionally dependent on you. Even though they may treat you poorly, they rely on you to fulfill their emotional needs. This is why they will often come back after periods of distance or conflict. They might disappear for a while, leaving you to wonder if they're finally gone for good, only to reappear when they sense that you're moving on. They hate the idea of you being happy or fulfilled without them because it means they've lost control over you. Narcissists view relationships through the lens of control and power. When you are no longer under their control, they feel threatened. Even though they may treat you with disdain, the thought of losing you, of losing the validation you provide, is intolerable to them. This is why they will go to great lengths to keep you in their orbit, even if it means resorting to manipulation, guilt-tripping, or emotional blackmail. One of the most confusing aspects of dealing with a narcissist is their ability to make you doubt yourself. Narcissists are skilled at gaslighting, a form of psychological manipulation in which they make you question your reality. They may accuse you of being too sensitive, overreacting, or even imagining things. Over time, this gaslighting can erode your self-esteem and make you feel like you are the problem. This is exactly what the narcissist wants. By making you doubt yourself, they can maintain control over you. It's important to recognize that narcissists are not capable of healthy, reciprocal relationships. Their emotional needs are so all-consuming that they cannot genuinely care for others in the way a normal, emotionally healthy person can. In their minds, relationships are not about mutual respect or love, but about power and control. They see you as a reflection of themselves, and when you fail to live up to their expectations, they take it as a personal affront. So, what can you do if you find yourself trapped in a relationship with a narcissist? The first step is to recognize the toxic dynamics at play. Narcissists will never give you the emotional support or love you deserve because they are incapable of true empathy. Their behavior is not a reflection of your worth, but rather a symptom of their own deep-seated insecurities and need for control. Breaking free from a narcissist is no easy task. The emotional bonds they create are strong, and they will do everything in their power to keep you in their grip. However, it is possible to reclaim your sense of self and move on from their toxic influence. The key is to stop seeking their approval and validation. Narcissists will never give you the affirmation you crave because their emotional needs always come first. Instead, focus on your own well-being and happiness. Setting firm boundaries is essential when dealing with a narcissist. You need to protect yourself emotionally, and this often means limiting or cutting off contact altogether. Narcissists will try to break your boundaries, but the more you stand firm, the less power they will have over you. It's also important to surround yourself with a support system, friends, family, or a therapist who can help you navigate the emotional challenges of breaking free from a narcissist. It's crucial to understand that narcissists are unlikely to change. Their behavior is deeply ingrained, and while they may make promises or even show temporary signs of improvement, these changes are rarely lasting. The only way to truly protect yourself is to distance yourself from their toxic influence and focus on your own healing and growth. Thank you for sticking with me through this detailed exploration of the narcissist's mind. Understanding why narcissists hate you but can't let you go is the first step in breaking free from their emotional grip. If you found this article helpful, I encourage you to share it with others who might be dealing with similar situations. And remember, no matter how much a narcissist tries to make you feel otherwise, you are worthy of love and respect.